In this Can You Build It, we are going to make a timer for our favorite word building game. You've been playing a lot of games with your younger siblings, and you have only one complaint. They take forever. If only you could make a timer that would keep their turn to a set length. Luckily for the harmony of family life, you have a microbit and can code one. Before we look at the pseudocode, we're going to explore a few different ways that we might use a loop. Here we go. Here is a one way we could use we could count to 4. Then we're going to look into loops. So here we go. Let's see if it works. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So I've got the variable index here, setting it to 0. Then I'm showing that variable. Next, I'm going to change that variable by 1. This adds 1 to wherever it's at. I'm showing it again. Now I am setting index to be index plus 1. So if you have a number and you add 1 to it, that adds 1 to it. And then it's storing that index. So index is now at 2. Then I could set index to 1 plus index, which is the same thing. It doesn't matter if the 1's over here or the 1's over here. Now we're up to 3. And then I've got one more, change index to 1, show number, giving us 4. This is a terrible way to count. This is confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on. And it's a lot of work. Let's say instead of counting to 4, I want to count to 100. Not the way to do it. Let's look at it a different way. All right, I got this loop right here. This is kind of neat. So I'm making a variable index, I'm setting it to 0. And then this loop will continue as long as whatever here is true. While index is less than or equal to 4, show that number, and then add 1 to that number. Is it still less than 4? Show that number, add 1 to that number. Let's see if it runs. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we can count to 4. So this is a little bit better than this. Still kind of a lot going on, kind of confusing. See if we can do better. I'm going to pull this one over. This works. And let's see what happens here. Oop, I do need to make my index variable. Let's pull that out. All right, this one will set index to 0, and then it's going to repeat whatever's in here 5 times. So it's going to show that number, in this case 0, and then add 1. Come back up, show that number, add 1. That would be 2. Show number, add 1. That'd be 3. Let's see if it works. Cool. All right, so the difference between this using the repeat loop and using a while loop is this is always checking to see if this is still true. So if something were to happen and change this index other than this, it could repeat less than 4 times. Let's say you had to press A and it added 1 to index, so you could skip a number. This is going to dumbly follow the same instructions regardless of how many times. Something pretty interesting here is these both count to 4, but why does this repeat 5 times? We have to remember that numbers in computers start at 0. So the first number it's printing is 0. And then the next number it's printing is 1. And so to count to 5, if you count it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that is 5 total numbers. All right, but we can one-up this. We can do that one better. We have a for loop. Now, this is one of the most powerful things in programming. These show up all the time. And a for loop does a lot of things at once. It makes its own variable, and it makes it from 0 to however big you want it. And every time this is run, it automatically adds 1 to that variable. So it starts off, make index, that's the name of our variable, set it to 0. Show that number, 0. Come back up, Add 1 to that number. Is it less than 4? Yes. Show that number. It's showing us 1. Add 1 to that number. Is it less than 4? Yes. Show 2. Let's see this run. For loops are really great, and again, they're used all over the place. We're going to now look at the pseudocode and kind of decide which is the best way to do it. So I've got some pseudocode here. It's our word game timer. On button A pressed, I want to use a loop to wait 10 seconds and then show an end animation. If you want to give this a go, you have 4 different ways to repeat something, to count to a number. So we want to count to 10 seconds. A big hint here is remember that that in a computer, unless you say otherwise, it starts counting at 0. So you have to count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 until you get to 10. And it's 10 numbers, not necessarily the number 10. If you want to give it a go, pause it, but feel free to come on back. And in fact, I would encourage you to come on back because I've got a real clever way of doing this that would be cool to see. Let's try that out. Here we have our on button A press, and I'm going to start off by clearing the screen. That's under basic, more, clear screen. Then I'm going to use a for loop. I love for loops. And I'm going to do it from 0 to 9. Because remember, 0, 1, 2, 3, there's 10 numbers if you include 0. And then I'm going to do a basic pause. I'm going to pause for 1 second. So what this should do is it should clear the screen. It should, from 0 to 9, which is 10 total numbers, pause. So 1 second, pause. 2 seconds, pause. 3 seconds, pause. 4 seconds, pause. Then at the end, I'll have it do something. I'm going to shorten this loop a little bit. I'm just going to make it 5 seconds just so it's a little quicker to see. I hit A, and then we are waiting our 5 seconds. Cool. It shows a little heart. That is functional, but not that neat. Remember, we got younger siblings. We got to keep them entertained. So I'm thinking maybe some sort of evidence that's doing something inside the loop would be cool. I'm going to cut that down to 500 milliseconds, because 500 plus 500 is 1,000. All right. Now I'm going to use something we haven't used before, this LED. I'm going to plot in LED. Let's actually see if this works first. Input, pull out something, button B. All right, button B turns on that LED. See, what happens if I change it to 2 and 2? See what happens now. Huh, it moves it down to here. That's kind of neat. All right. So I'm going to put that over in here. And then I'm also going to grab an unplot. I'm going to set it to the same one. So now what I'm hoping will happen is every time that runs through this, it will turn on an LED, wait half a second, turn off an LED, wait half a second, come back up. See if it works. Hey, not too bad. It looks like it's doing something. Now it's showing the heart. All right, the heart's not quite as exciting as I want, so I'm going to jazz up that animation just a wee bit. Let's kind of make some nice zigzags. And duplicate that. And, you know, just kind of do the opposite. All right, hopefully this is now going to work. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to use one more loop here because I don't want this to play once. I want this to be really fancy. I'm just going to pull out a dumb repeat loop. It'll repeat this 4 times. Let's do it to 2 times. Let's see what happens now. I press A. We got a blinking light letting us know it's working. And then that animation plays. That lets us know that our timer is up. You might have noticed, though, that this for loop isn't really using that index for anything. I could just put in a dumb loop there. I have a solution. I'm going to add in an if statement in here. This is one I made already. And if index is less than 6, so, if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to do the blink just like we saw. But once that index is equal to or greater than 6, I'm going to have it blink even faster. So I've made that up right here. And instead of 500 millisecond pauses, I have 250 millisecond pauses. So 250 plus 250 is 500. So I have 4 instead of 2. So now I'm using this index to see how far through this wait I am. And let's see. The blinking starts slow. Pretty cool. And then it speeds up, letting our younger sibling know their turn is just about over. At this point, you've watched everything you need to get this project done. But stick around, because I've got a fun bonus bit of code that can make a really neat animation effect. Gonna pull all that out, so that to the side. And I've got in here. I'm not gonna talk too much about this, but very briefly, we're doing the same plot at, but instead of a number, I'm doing this math problem. And the remainder of index divided by 5. Cast your minds back into math when you used to do remainders. Let's check out this table I made of a bunch of numbers being done with a remainder. This is division, so 1 divided by 5. 5 can't fit in there at all. So it's 0 with a remainder of 1, because that 1 is still there. 3 cannot be divided by 5, so that's a 0. But there's 3 left over, that makes a remainder of 3. If we see 6 divided by 5, yes, 5 can go in there once, but we have a remainder of 1. 9 divided by 5, 5 goes in there once, and there's a remainder of 4. The remainder operator that we're using over here, this plot remainder of, that only cares about the remainder. It doesn't care about this first number. So by going through the for loop, it is incrementing a pattern of 4, or 5, because it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is perfect to draw on our array, because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I would share that. I hope you found this useful and interesting.